Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
And we're live.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to week 10 of MCEO Talk. I am your host, Ashley, and today joining me as co-host Marissa Ferraraccio. Hey, Marissa.
Hi, guys.
Today we are going to be talking contextual tech. Joining us are guests Shay Israel and Alexandra Zatarain. We're waiting. Oh, Ethan. Oh!
Hi, everyone.
Hello. Are you on the go?
Yes. I'm sorry that I'm late.
Hey, it's okay. You'll be our first ever guest on the go. This is great.
Welcome to
And also
Salt Lake
just
City.
joining us is Ethan Anderson. Okay, sweet. Well, let's get started. I guess coming up with this topic for this week's chat, a couple years ago I was introduced to contextual tech via a book called Age of Context, which we have one of the co-authors on here. Yes, Shay, congrats. So, contextual tech is a really hot topic, and, bringing this panel on this week, I really wanted to kind of see, how everyone was introduced to the topic, where they see the topic going, and kind of the cool innovations that are happening within contextual tech. I guess let's get started by kind of talking about our background. So, Alexandra, if you'd like to start, tell us a little bit about yourself and, your background, and we'll go from there.
Definitely. So I'm Alex. I'm one of the co-founders and CMO at Luna. What we're building at Luna is pretty much in the contextual technology space because it's a mattress cover that makes your bed smart. So I actually got introduced to this concept while working at Luna. I had never really kind of gotten a grasp of it or what it meant or how important it is or could be for our lives. My background is all marketing, PR, communications, coming from the world of from nonprofits, academic institutions, Wall Street. So I recently moved to San Francisco and started, around 9 months ago, and joined the Luna team, started working on it, and I'm really excited to be sharing our thoughts on how we see this space evolving and what we think is up next for technologies like ours.
Great. Okay, we'll have you go next, Ethan. Get you going.
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Ethan. I'm a founder and CEO of a company called My Time. And our vision is really to help America's local businesses get online and eventually take appointments online, very similar to the way that restaurants can take reservations through OpenTable. We've created a very popular online destination that about 1 million people a month come to find and book appointments for local services near them. And we call that the My Time Marketplace. And then for the businesses, we offer software to them where they can manage all of their online schedules, their client records, their communication with their customers. So it's really trying to empower local businesses to take part in online to offline commerce. And very quickly, my background before this is I started another company in the local space called Red Beacon. It was the 2009 TechCrunch 50 winner. And it was about helping home service providers find out about jobs near them so they could bid on them and offer their services to people looking for things like plumbers, electricians, etc. So that's a little bit of my background. That company was sold to the Home Depot, and I was still really excited about the local space and felt like even more could be done. So founded My Time and been working on that ever since.
Great, awesome. And Shay, we'll have you introduce yourself.
Well, I'll start with a correction on my first name, which is Shell.
Shell, sorry.
But Shay sounds a lot cooler, so I'm thinking of going with it. That's why I cracked up laughing before, and actually I was thinking of saying, hi, I'm Robert Scoble. I write books and speak for a living. I write books so that I get to speak, and then I speak so that I can get to write more books. The most recent one was Age of Context, and I'm now writing a sequel with that other guy, Robert Scoble, writing the foreword. It's it's called Lethal Generosity: Why Kindness to Customers Will Kill Your Competitors. The alliteration's a little hard, and we might kind of change that. But while in the last book we were looking at the technology itself, this book, we're looking at how that technology is getting into the marketplace and changing customer experiences. Ethan, would you stand still, for God's sakes?
Oh, sorry. Let me, hold it still.
I keep talking. I feel like my puppy when he sees a squirrel.
Okay. I'll try not to draw any more attention.
This is great. And then Marissa, we'll have you introduce yourself.
Sure, thanks. Hi, guys. So I am Marissa Ferraraccio. I'm digital marketing at Zoom. This is my first time ever co-hosting a Hangout, so I am like losing my mind. I have been so excited. I'm really excited to talk about this technology because it's something that I'm fairly new to since joining the company. My background is kind of like yours, Alexandra, nonprofit PR communications marketing. I did a lot in real estate marketing as well until I found the SaaS platform that I work for now, which is Zoom. So I'm looking forward to listening to all of you guys and hearing your insight and hopefully helping myself grow as well, because this is a new technology that I think we all can grab onto and take a ride with for a while.
Yeah, sweet. So let's get started. I guess, everyone kind of introduced, getting involved, their first introduction to contextual technology and kind of how you guys have butted in your careers and doing so. So I guess let's start with you, Alex. Why, given that Luna, is in that space, given the smart mattress that you guys are coming up with, why do you believe that contextual tech is so important?
So that's a great question, because actually that's the big reason why I joined the company. When the guys that started working on this, my partners, pitched to me the idea of Luna, I immediately saw like the benefit of it, right? And I thought, well, my dad, who had just passed away from terminal cancer, if he would have had this, if we would have had technology that could learn what was going on when he was in bed for 4 months, right, that could understand what were his preferences, that could adapt to what he needed, that could communicate with his family, whether he was sleeping or not, it just seemed like, wow, like there is technology out there that could actually change people's lives. And that's my strong belief about contextual technology, and that's why I'm really excited that we're discussing this topic now, because we see it as technology that can improve people's lives, that can go beyond telling you a bunch of data about how you're sleeping or what you're doing in bed or how your heart rate at rest is doing, and go to the next step of adjusting itself and adjusting your environment and really working around 3 pillars of, what it knows about you, what it assumes about you, and what it predicts about you. So that's really what we're focusing on right now at Luna, and just leveraging hardware technology, software technology to take all these devices into that next level. We're at the intersection of like smart home and IoT, but we're pretty much focused on, just helping your life and helping you live better through technology that is seamlessly integrated into your life and can make it better. And we see that with our product. We see with a lot of other companies we're meeting with that are going to be putting great products into the market, and hopefully we can leverage all this knowledge and really be a great representative of what it can do to someone's life.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, through some of the new things, I got introduced through Luna from Andrea, who's a friend of mine, and when he first initially told me about this, mattress cover, I was like, I need one. I would love to lay in bed and have someone dim the lights for me. I would love to be kind of scrambling and waking up and it makes coffee for me. It was just, it seems one of those things where, you get lazy, you go to the coffee shop, you're like, but now that if you have a mattress cover doing it for you, like, I skipped Starbucks today, so.
Exactly. And one of the great things that we think we will leverage as we grow is the ability to learn from the sleep patterns of as many people as possible, which is something that hasn't really been done before. So the more we know, the better we can provide of an experience to you, and the more we can just adapt your environment. So as we call ourselves kind of like the nest of the bed, right? It'll learn, it will adapt, and as it goes forward, it'll be able to really work as it should work for your specific case in life.
Exactly.
Ethan,
yeah.
Ask a question there?
Oh, yeah.
Alex?
Yeah.
Hi. You're collecting data on people as they sleep, and what do you do with that data once you collect it?
Yeah, so there's a couple of things we do. One is We track your movement, your heart rate, and your breathing rate while you're in bed, and that allows us to very accurately tell you your sleep phases and quality of sleep and all the stuff related to sleep only. Then on a second line of work that we do with data is we, as much as you allow us to, we integrate and we gather information from your fitness trackers, or if you use a Vessel, or if you have smart home devices, like as many apps as possible, and we use that information to make correlations with the quality of your sleep. So eventually we will be able to tell you, well, your threshold for improving your quality of sleep based on exercise is at 100 minutes a week, right? Versus basing it off of what research says about the median person in the world. So that's kind of where we're going.
Got it. Okay, thanks.
Fantastic. So Ethan, being involved in this space as well, I'd love to hear, what you think makes, contextual tech so important, and especially how you're applying it today.
Sure. Well, I mean, people get lots of local services throughout the course of the year, and they get things for their bodies, for their pets, for their homes, for their cars. And so having an app or a product that can be aware of what is needed in your life is actually very interesting and relevant for contextual technology. So one of the things that we do is we track your past appointment history by service, so that we know how frequently you go and get something and other things that you may need at the exact moment that you need it. So for example, let's use the example of like a dental exam and cleaning. Every 6 months you're supposed to get a dental exam. At about the 6-month mark, the MyTime app would say, hey, it's been 6 months since you've got a dental exam. Would you like to see the availability at your favorite dentist for the service that you usually get? It'll actually, in the case of something like a haircut, it would actually remember the employee that you go to, the style that you get, the exact service, in fact, and it would look at your calendar, so in other words, the context of your availability, and it would look at the salon's availability, and specifically the stylist that you go to, and it would propose some times for you to book. And it would do this in real time through a push notification to alert you, show you some options, and it's like 1 or 2 clicks, and you've booked and paid for the service. And if something comes up in your life, like you need to do a last-minute trip or cancel the appointment for some reason, it's super easy to do that as well. And you can do this 24/7. So it's not, you're no longer like a slave to the business hours of that business and the availability of that person picking up the telephone to take your call. So I think that's actually very powerful and relevant. We're thinking about expanding it to car navigation systems. Your car could say, I need an oil change right now. I checked the MyTime API, and there's 4 oil change places within 2 miles that have availability. Would you like me to book one right now? So it's like it can be extremely contextual and relevant by adding 2 different layers: the local layer, what's around you, and then the temporal layer of availability of both parties.
Yeah, awesome. That sounds great. I mean, I got introduced to MyTime through Megan. She's a good friend of mine, and yeah, I mean, it's brilliant. Put everything together so that you guys aren't having to piece together different appointment systems or go to different websites, and then kind of collaborating everything that you do make appointments for, which is a lot of things, and just making it super simple for people. And yeah, I love the idea.
Yeah, that was actually one of the innovations I think that we brought to the space. Is we didn't approach this like some enterprise software that we're selling to the businesses as a one-off. We said the consumers have a profile on MyTime. They have all their favorite businesses, which are in one place. Their credit card and their calendar is common across all the different businesses. And so you don't have to go create a new account at each place you go to and maintain separate logins, separate credit cards, separate calendars. It's all one single app for 10 or 12 different services that you get regularly in your life. It's a very powerful concept once you start to use it, and one that I think really differentiates what we've created.
Yeah, fantastic. So Shel, I would really, really, really love to hear, your thoughts on contextual tech. I mean, you write about it, you speak about it, you live and breathe it. So I'd love to hear that.
It's just a passing fad.
Come on.
How do you really feel?
I hate to begin with credence to Robert Scoble because he does such a good job of giving them to himself, but I do a lot of things with Robert. We've done 3 books together. We started Fast Company TV, which was fast to end is faster to end than to start. But Robert is, in what he does, he goes out and sees things happening. He speaks to everybody who's got the coolest stuff in the coolest places. And every few years we get together because he starts seeing patterns. In this case, he started seeing a bunch of stuff coming together. We brought it down to 5 forces. If we wrote the book today, it would be 6. The 6th being, it would be mobile, then wearables. Way back in the old days of 2013, it was mobiles and wearables. Social media, data, location technologies, which is increasingly important, and sensors, which today we would call the IoT or Internet of Things. And my focus in all my books has been the impact of technology on people and business. Robert kind of started seeing how all this stuff was coming together and doing things such as smart mattresses or MyThings or companies like that, in ways that technology becomes integrated into the fabric of human beings. In the new book, I start looking at a collision not only just of the technologies, but with the millennial generation. It's the first generation of digital natives. In the new book, I talk about acquiring languages and learning languages. When you're young, you just acquire languages. And before age 13 or so, kids can pick up 3 languages and speak without an accent. Over 13, you can have an IQ of 190, but you'll still have an accent that will be noticed. We now have a generation who see technology, particularly personal technology, particularly mobile technology, as just an integrated part of their being. And it isn't an island because it's part of a network. And people walk around, particularly people of the millennial age, carrying this device that connects them with millions of people, which gives them information, which gives them instant solutions. And for me, it's one theme that I've been following since Robert and I wrote Naked Conversations in 2005, and it's going to outrun me as the years go on, because it just keeps getting bigger, better for people, and with ominous side effects that may or may not create something destructive at some point or another.
Yeah.
So that's the short answer. If you have another 28 or 29 hours, I'll keep going.
Well, how long is this going to be a world record for world's longest Google Hangout?
It could be.
I can go for it. I'll just kind of leave it streaming.
Let's just go.
Let's just go. Let's go run for it.
I'm sorry, but I have to study my train schedule.
It's okay. I'll just leave mine on. Great. So I guess we'll kind of just, dive into, getting a little deeper now that, we kind of, our guest panels touched base on, why we believe contextual tech is important. But I think, what to me is really interesting is all the cool projects that are happening. Things that you're seeing in the space, not related directly to yourself, but, the one example, Robert posted an article today on beacons. I can't remember the company is. They're putting out about 200,000 beacons. I think particularly in the Austin area. And, to me, it's. I've been trying to keep up with all the beacon technology that's been going on and hyperlocation, but just kind of curious. You guys can just throw it out there. Anything you guys see that's particularly really cool in the contextual space, or anything that you see in regards to hyperlocation that's interesting you?
Sure. Yeah, I actually find beacons really interesting, just kind of seeing things from the marketing world, thinking about the potential of the use of this technology at stores, right, retail locations. How do you retarget customers based on the things that they seem to be interested in when they're in a store? just as Shel was saying, right, the millennial generation, we just have a different way of shopping and like approaching things, and sometimes, you know, it'll take you longer to like buy something. And so all of this for a marketer, I think it's super interesting. We've seen other technologies been used for deploying kind of street advertising, where only, you know, it detects the height of the person standing in front of the ad, and maybe it would only display to kids, right? And they are using it for campaigns around like domestic violence or like child abuse, and you know, all these things. Especially for me, just seeing it from like a marketing perspective, it's so interesting of the huge potential it can have and the effect it will have in a different industry that will be leveraging this technology.
Yeah.
It's funny you say that, because I actually was speaking with Amir, who's my colleague at Zoom, and we were talking about beacon technology again, and actually you mentioned hyperlocation and how this, you think about what you do now for social media advertising and the retargeting options and the demographics and the geo-targeting that you can do with beacon technology. It's going to take that to a whole nother level.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit intimidating when you think about, you know, I know we're going to talk about privacy down the road, but when you think about how it's going to personalize your experience even more than it's already doing, it's really exciting. So I'm really looking forward to see how this grows and how this helps consumers, just how it helps meet their needs even faster.
Definitely.
One of the things that on the hyperlocal front that doesn't actually involve beacon but involves GPS is that when you actually walk into a business that you could have booked on My Time, we will push a notification to your phone. The next time book this appointment on My Time will be $5 off.
So
we got a little bit of
feedback. Sorry.
Somebody say something.
I know. I like the feedback. I like the feedback. Sorry. Can you guys hear me already? Yep.
I'm hearing you fine. I'm not having any problems other than everybody stopped talking. Just
we all did, didn't we?
I would ask if it's something I said, but I haven't said it.
Better now, actually.
But I have something to say now, if you want.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think beacons are an opening act to the age of context. And they are just an opening act. The thing that's remarkable is the speed of adoption of them. Fast adoption of technology is nothing new. Fast adoption of technology in physical retail is something very new. And in such a great deal of capabilities are coming up, but there are limitations to beacons. One is in technology, they can't have conversations either with me and my phone. They have conversations with the cloud. This is awkward. It causes latency as you start trying to scale. At Coachella, I saw something very interesting. I didn't see, but at Coachella, there was something very interesting in that beacons started to serve as a hub for different mobile apps, such as Uber, such as Snapchat, etc. And you started seeing a way of a very viable location-aware technology just making the experience of, 800,000 visitors work more smoothly than it ever has. But walking down the line just a little bit further, you have things like a new standard called Mobile LTE, which I think prototypes are being released by Qualcomm. Qualcomm's a champion of the standard for a simple reason. You're going to buy more high-end chips to have this stuff. But this starts allowing peer-to-peer communications, and for marketers, I think that's the big aha. Because at this point, people can tell you what they want, and I, as the user, can have you as the merchant compete for my attention. I can suddenly say, I'm hungry for Chinese, and every Chinese restaurant within 2 miles of me can start offering me and my party of 5 special offers. Scalpers outside of a basketball game can use it to say, hey everybody, I got 2 tickets to watch the Warriors tromp Cleveland under their boot heels tomorrow night, and I can get competitive bids. Yes, I live in the Bay Area. But the interactivity isn't there with beacons yet. There's sort of a forced way of doing it. With mobile LTE, New Air, and a few other technologies that are coming very, very quickly, you start seeing a shift of power from the seller to the buyer. My things is part of that because now I've got my stuff in one place, and you're going to be my wallet. You're going to be all these things, and I can start, I assume, screening out the things that I don't want to have reaching me this way. And this is what I'm for. I think marketing can be a lot less intrusive and a lot more effective at a lot lower cost, producing a lot more profit if it starts realizing that we customers don't need to be told what we want. We need to tell you what we want. And if you really can't offer it to us, we would appreciate it if you just sat down and were a little more quiet.
Well, you know what you said, Shel, earlier, which is
I have no idea. I'm old and I don't remember.
Well, I'm remembering it because it's stuck in my head.
Well, I'll have to trust you, and you know I'm very big on trust.
Well, you said earlier. Does that mean?
Hold on. Still, I'm gonna mute. Okay. Does that?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Now we know who it was.
Yeah, he was a little feedback. Sorry, Shel, we're muting you for a second.
Well, the one thing that Shel said that I really liked earlier in the first question, he said that customer experience will kill your competitors, whether he remembers if he said that or not, right? But then he just said that when your customers are telling you what they want, it's going to make their experience better. And that is when it's going to make a big, huge difference between brands that don't adapt to contextual technology or these new technologies that are listening to their customers and the brands that think that they're too big and too mighty to actually do something about it, right? So I think as we move down the road, customer experience is going to become, and I think research is showing, will become the #1 reason brands succeed or small businesses or startups succeed, because if they adapt to this technology and they know what consumers want, consumers will be happy, right? So Shel, I think you just made 2 really great points that I tried to fuse together, and I hope it made sense, but it's like genius, and it's incredible to see what the technologies can do, hopefully, down the road.
Exactly. And I think, you know, we notice a lot with, oh, do you want to unmute? Here, I'll unmute you. How do I unmute him? I think he has to unmute himself.
Yeah, I was going to jump in and say.
Oh, good.
Go ahead, Shel.
Free. Born free. Okay.
I was going to say that the whole trend becomes even more powerful when different apps can work together. So imagine if you had a big event tonight, like an award show or something, and you could use 4 or 5 different apps, and the apps are smart enough to talk to each other to figure out what needed to happen to prepare you for that event. You might need everything from, you know, a haircut and blowout to makeup application and Uber, and then possibly, you know, some kind of alcohol delivery for the after party. I mean, I'm just making it up, but you know, you could the virtual assistant, whether it's like a Siri or a Google Now or Cortana, could eventually be smart enough to understand the event in your calendar and prepare all the things that it thinks you might need, and then let you give the final sign-off, and have these services do the delivery. That would be amazing as an end state.
I think, you know, what I've noticed. Oh, who's got feedback? Sorry, Shel, I had to mute you again. So I think, you know, what's been really cool in the space that I work in, I work for a social network called Hey Let's. You know, we're an experience-based platform that helps you find things to do based on your interest, and we don't do ratings or reviews to get people quickly to what they, you know, want to experience. So you don't have to read, you know, negative things that people don't like. It's just like, hey, here's, you know, what I recommend for you to do. And for me, I noticed so much opportunity with hyperlocation, but I also noticed, you know, in the same sense that people have a really strong need for their privacy. You know, I hear it all the time, you know, oh, you guys are tracking me, you guys know, you know what I like, you know what I've been wishlisting, the things I'm into, and people start to get a little nervous about it. You know, for me, having these kinds of things, I'm totally open to it. You know, take all you want from me, not my credit card, but take everything else. You know, learn as much as you can about me because I want you to know more. But I'm curious what your guys' take is on security and, you know, portraying that. I know, Alex, someone had a question from Twitter about, you know, how do you, you know, allow people to have that secure feeling knowing that, hey, you know, their heart rate, or, you know, how do I turn off the mattress when I don't want you guys to know? So curious, you know, your thoughts on that.
So when we first launched Luna, we did receive several comments on that, right? And people are saying, well, there are more things that happen in bed that maybe I don't want you to know. So what we did is we built in a feature that we call like the privacy feature.
Are you going to share with us any examples of that?
Well, the thing I really say to start with is we use Luna as well, and we are the first ones to use it. So we understand the concern. I've been sleeping on it for like 6 months, so I know why people would feel scared about it. So what we did is we kind of analyzed the options of, you know, are we a company that's trying to accumulate the data to give to someone else, or are we using it to give you a better experience? And we are that second option. So it's really up to you to give us as much information as you want. So we built that privacy feature after we heard from those concerns, and what it basically does is like it snoozes the tracking, right, for some hours. You can just easily like, oh, activate it, and like, you know, maybe you don't want us to track, but maybe you want to have other features on it, or you want to like stop it for a while. And it's something we're still exploring. We always understand the concern of where is my information going, so we also built the product in a way that if you are kind of technical enough or too concerned, you can take the product out, and like the information won't go to our cloud, so we call it cloud independence. So you can just, you know, have your data be stored locally in a way or in another cloud, or like however system you want to implement that, and maybe you do your own correlations, your own data analysis. So that's something that we do hear a lot. The bed is very, very personal. But on the other hand, we are convinced that when people start seeing the value of knowing yourself, not only about your sleep, but eventually the potential of tracking your health at rest, and like having this stethoscope tracking you and telling you, hey, you know, actually maybe you probably have a fever because we've been noticing your heart rate changing over the past 5 days, or, you know, your stress levels are going like off the charts, you should probably take a day off, or, you know, things that are really could impact your life. I think at that point is when people are going to understand that technology is not against you, but it's actually going to be enabling a better life.
Well, I think if you're able to be transparent, I think a big thing about the privacy is if, like you're saying for Luna, if you're transparent about what you're doing with the information, and it's honest, and it's open, and it's readily available to the public, then they develop that trust in you. And once that trust is there, then they can turn to you guys and they're like, okay, you know what, you're going to make my life better, right? If I knew I was too stressed and needed a day off of work, and my mattress told me that, hallelujah, right?
Yeah.
So I think the big takeaway is transparent. So
I think trust and transparency. Am I live? Can you hear me now?
You are live.
Okay. I've lowered my volume down, which might get rid of the echo because I hate to be muted. But I feel so punished. But seriously, I think that privacy was a big, big issue when we wrote Age of Context, and 2 years later I find that it's less of an issue. It isn't that people don't care, it's people understand that if they want all that good stuff they can get from all that technology, at a minimum there's a transaction going on where I will give you information about me so that you can give me neater and neater stuff. You can give me better and better experiences. Now, everyone here is a good person. I'm sure that I trust all of you completely. But you're collecting something that is neither good nor evil. It's data. And data is just facts, and it's personal facts. And a mattress can tell an insurance company, which can tell the employer that this person is sleeping restlessly, and there is no way that anyone in this conversation can stop that. Every now and then we get lucky for some reason, and we get the NSA to stop letting us know when they're monitoring our stuff. But overall, the issue of personal privacy is unfortunately one that I think is passing by, that we all have regrets, and I personally am fearful for what the long-term repercussions are. I'm optimistic about what the immediate advantages are, but I don't know where it all goes. I'm going to leave it to millennials. We made the mess. You clean it up. I'll be gone.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And we had fun making the mess. And there was money in it, too. But we shall see.
Yeah, I think, oh, I muted him again. He's probably going to start yelling at me. I see so much, I see a lot of people fighting back with the privacy issues, and as everyone's touched on, it's, you get the benefit of sharing your data. Data kind of, it goes into this mass lump, and it delivers something for us to, experience life in a better way. I'll put it in quotes. I think we also see a lot of issues with tech becoming more collective of our data. So, for example, I saw a smart water bottle about, hey, if you don't take a drink, it's like buzzing off on your phone. And I think where a lot of people, I almost see this kind of this zombie robot type, evolution of people, where it's, do we become so dependent that we, hey, I'm too stupid to remember to drink my water. So
and then the bed will tell you that you drank too late at night and you peed the bed.
So then the apps are fighting.
Exactly.
But are we getting to that point? I mean, actually, that's a good point. Like kids that
what happens when a smart mattress gets peed on?
It's fine. It's fine. It's waterproof.
That's like an insult. That's like throwing water in the face.
We don't track humidity right now, but we definitely want to do that.
But yeah, I mean, that was just my thoughts today. Is I'm reading these articles and seeing, they say that there's going to be 7.5 or 7.9 billion, contextual applications by 2019, and thinking about that. Okay, unmute yourself and chime in.
Ashley, you're really nasty, but every time I have something brilliant to say, you just shut me up, and it's really hurting. Is there a way I can stop causing the feedback? I mean, I don't like this response I'm getting from you.
Maybe headphones?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Golly gee. I knew there was a reason I brought these.
Perfect.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, that's so much better.
Stop shouting.
Oh.
Okay.
Better.
Okay. Sorry about that. What was I disagreeing with? Does anybody remember?
The number of contextual apps.
Yeah. It's Jupyter is not doing very well this year, so it's the research firm that comes out with the outrageous number of the day.
I didn't say that for the record.
But I did for the record, and as a matter of fact, I may write that in the book, because I deal with a very difficult thing about predicting the near-term future. And what's nice about bad about the near-term future is people remember when you screw it up. Like the last book had this thing called Google Glass on the cover, and this has been noticed by some people that it hasn't been quite the big thing that Robert and I thought it was. But here's the thing, that the world does not need or want more and more and more and more solutions. They do want fewer, simple, elegant solutions. And the fact that every millennial on Earth now knows how to do some coding and some hacking and some mixing and matching doesn't mean that they're going to be commercially viable. Everywhere you can get these really neat numbers. In the sharing economy, there are over 10,000 companies that are determined to be sharing economy companies, but there's only about 120 that have gotten any kind of significant financing. That 120, ones that are really, really doing well, I see very little sharing going on between the investors, the people running the company, and the employees and the customers.
Well, it's like survival of the fittest. with these apps and this technology, the best of the best is going to survive, and it's going to take time to figure out what the best of the best is. What's the most elegant? What's the most
by
useful?
the time you get to the 7.5 billionth app, there must be an awful lot of dead apps in the great app cemetery that lies before us. You know, it's just more is not always better.
Yeah.
Better creates less. And long before we get to 7.9 billion, without getting into your life at my time, you face some very tough competition, Ethan. And 5 years from now, you may be part of another company, or other companies might be part of you, because there will be fewer companies doing what you're trying to do. And the best of you will probably win. Perhaps one of the long players will be the best financed of you, but these days the customers get to choose faster than that. But the idea of 7.5 billion apps, I can see Scoble trying to interview every CEO.
Well, I'll tell you, so one of the ways that you overcome that problem is you integrate into other people's apps instead of always expecting that people will use yours, at least until you get big enough that you don't need them.
Yes.
So, you know,
or you can die and decide to sell
time, you can imagine.
Yeah. I can't hear you.
Sorry, I was going to say, in the case of my time, you can imagine there's search engines, ratings and review sites, social networks. All these could be super relevant for somebody who needs that type of service. And so you have to say, okay, I'll be generous and make my service available throughout the app.
Oh, we lost him.
Lost him?
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Look at that nice freeze frame.
Well,
he was getting deep.
Natural dentist. Today we are looking at lower by.
Oh no.
oh, there he is.
You think God
Google Hangouts craft is like the extreme version of muting. You crafted it.
I will never
off the island for my bad comment.
I will never forget your lower 26 teeth. Never. I don't disagree with how you say it. You have created a place for people to go, and you will take them to places through open APIs and all that, all over the web. If they choose to do that, and I see every reason why people will choose one such service. I probably will. I haven't played with my place yet, but I play with a lot of stuff that comes along. And what people at the end of the day want is stuff that makes their life easier, makes their experiences better, makes them faster, solves problems faster, lets them meet people who have been there before us and can tell us what to eat, what to buy, what to watch, what to wear. But we sure as hell don't want 7.5 billion app developers competing for our attention. And the people at Jupiter, I never see them in the rooms where all the stuff that's happening is happening. So I don't know. Maybe they asked some smart computer at IBM how they got that number. I just don't know.
I mean, I was thinking about it, and I don't know if they mean like 7 point. I mean, obviously, I didn't read the entire thing. I just saw this, outrageous number, and got to talk contextual tech and how to go for it. But I think, what's remarkable is the amount of applications that go into or the amount of apps that are going to be built to make our lives more contextual. So, we need apps for our smart t-shirt, and we need an app for our, they'll all integrate, but then you start to think about it, it's like, okay, I got a smart, maybe someone makes a smart hamper, and it's like, hey, you have to do laundry, and it sends you an app notification just as ridiculous as that water bottle. Or, maybe there's a sensor for your cat, and it's like, hey, your cat's hungry. There's all these, just the immense amount of things that you can build an app for, I just think about, and it's like, well, maybe, we might get up there, but 7.5 billion is a lot.
We wonder about that a lot.
It would be super awesome if there was like a smart scale that said like you put on 5 pounds and then...
There's the Fitbit Aria.
yeah, and then it like prompts My Time to get like a personal trainer for you. I mean, that kind of thing would just be like amazing.
Why doesn't it go right
Genius.
past you and you? Why doesn't it just tell the refrigerator beacon?
It locks it.
Locks the door.
So lock the fridge.
6 o'clock.
Oh my
idea.
god, this is so
That's a great idea.
I agree.
Thank
You guys ready to start a business?
Yes, let's do it.
No lock, the refrigerator lock.
7.5.1 billion. We have smart locks.
Oh my gosh, that's genius. I like it.
We'd have a lot of really cranky people. I could not deal with that.
It would definitely be a success. People are always looking for ways to like lose weight and be fit. So that's actually a great thought.
The refrigerator lock.
No, in these days they would just go to the on-demand food delivery app that'll have food now.
Right?
Yeah.
5 minutes.
No, and then
Like, how does this apply to takeout, right? How do you order takeout? Does it lock your phone too?
It'll lock
You can't order? And take your keys and lock your car? I'm just trying to
God, I
figure this
feel like I'm
out.
7 years old.
No,
again.
it shoots little missiles at the tiny little drones that are delivering your takeout.
Oh, that's right. We're at drones. I forgot. Whoops.
Well, it's great. Well, you guys are getting towards the end of our chat. So, each week we ask, not the same old question, but, a question that we like to ask our guests. So we'll start with you, Alex. What is your life hack? So basically, what do you do every morning to prepare yourself for the day?
Oh, many things, but something that I do is I really try to exercise in the morning. So I do like my bar class in the morning, and that will really, really get me started for the rest of the day. And that I'll definitely say that it became my life hack as I moved from being an employee to an entrepreneur. It definitely changed my life.
Oh, nice. I haven't done a bar class. What do you do in there?
It's very great. So I used to be a dancer, so for me it was like a great natural transition to saying, okay, I have to exercise because I spend like 20 hours a day sitting in the office and like eating takeout like every day and like not sleeping well. So it's kind of like yoga meets Pilates. So it's a great way to exercise without like a high impact on your body.
Oh, that's cool. Nice. Ethan, what about you? What do you do every morning to get your day going?
Oh, I was gonna say, obviously, my life hack is multitasking at all times, even when I'm doing a panel.
Yeah, you're like, I just went out of a meeting.
Yeah, I don't know that I have a genius life hack. Something that gets me started in the morning, other than I've just like started to get by with less and less sleep somehow as I've gotten older. But yeah, I guess the life hack is get older, so you need less sleep.
That will change in time, young man.
That's not good for you, Ethan. You need a Luna.
I know, I do.
We all need a Luna.
Yeah. What about you, Shel? What's your life hack?
I pour myself a cup of coffee and take the dog out for a pee and a poop.
Just to really get the day started.
Out, whether he needs it or not.
You're going outside. So what about you, Marissa? What's your life
I don't know
hack?
how I could top that one, It's really difficult. I actually have two. So I have a life hack for morning and a life hack for evening. So my morning life hack is, since we've been talking about privacy and, everyone knowing what you're doing at all times, I try to spend a few minutes in the morning just kind of collecting my thoughts. And whether it's with coffee and the news, or just hanging out with my dogs, or just reading a book, or whatever I'm doing, I find that just 5 or 6 minutes of just some quiet me time allows me to gather my thoughts and kind of mentally prepare for the day. I think about things that I have my checklist where I'm thinking about like what I have to do at Zoom and what I have to check off. So I think that's really beneficial to me. My end of the day life hack, I'm not a morning person when it comes to exercise. I'm definitely an evening person. Going for a run for me, and whatever type of exercise you guys utilize, I think is awesome after work, because that's the best way for me to de-stress. I can have, a 12-hour day, and a quick run on the trail will just open up my mind and just, calm my senses. Then hopefully I can go to my Luna mattress and get a nice good night of sleep. But those two hacks definitely seem to be something that work for me and fit for me. And that's what I try to do every day.
Sweet. My life hack, I have to change this every week. I ran out of life hacks, I think, at this point. I mean, I don't
They're
know.
all good though.
Okay, another life hack. I don't know. My roommate's cat, it's not even my cat. I just end up playing with the cat and just kind of, hanging out with him and chatting with him in the morning, and he's
chat with your
company.
cats in the morning?
Yeah.
That's a life.
Can you meerkat that one day, Ashley? Can you meerkat that chat with your cats?
Oh, I get so many people in my meerkat. It's like not even fun. I don't know how it is, but yeah, if you guys want to hang out with me while I talk to the cat, okay, I've meerkatted everything at this point, so you can't hurt me.
Let's do it. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. Sweet.
I will say. Oh, go ahead, Shel.
Is there a cat chat app?
For April Fools, I did a "Hey, let's" for cats, so you can hang out with your cat. But yeah, he's been sleeping by me. Yeah, he's been sleeping by me the entire time. Now he's mad.
I'll give you a. I don't know if this counts as a life hack, but I discovered an app that I use, 1 or 2 times a day that I find to be very helpful, and it's called Captio, CAPTIO. It's like $1.99 in the App Store, and it lets me make a quick note that sends that note to the top of my inbox instantly. And so the idea is that I'm always on the go. Somebody says something interesting, or I think of something I need to take care of, and I know I'm going to forget it. So I make the quick note in Captio, hit the button, and know that when I get home that night, it's going to be at the top of my inbox, and I can deal with it or as I want to. It's very lightweight.
That's cool. I'll have to check it out.
I like that one.
They owe you some money, Ethan.
They do. I know. I wish I was affiliated or something.
You're like, boom, there you go.
Let's go to ethan.captio.com. No.
Are you an ambassador for them? Is that what you're trying to say?
I mean, I should be after this, yeah.
There you go.
In all seriousness, I find myself using it all the time. I mean, I might have heard something on this call, on this video conference, and I might have written a few notes down, hit send, and I know that I can respond to it later. It's really fantastic.
That's cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, let's close this up. I really want to thank all of you for joining us. I mean, this was a great chat. I had an amazing time. Contextual Tech, it's here to stay. It's going to be big. It seems like it doubles every day. There's something new and cool happening. So thank you so much for joining us. Marissa, thank you so much for co-hosting with me. My name is Ashley. And join us next week for week 11. I'm going to assemble a panel of people to talk about startup life. I know a lot of people are curious about it. They think it's, unicorns and rainbows, and we work really hard. And so I'm trying to set this clear that it's not unicorns, rainbows, and glitter. So
breaking my heart, Ashley.
It would be, but the lawyers get in the way.
Oh God, we're not at that point yet. That'll be a whole other episode. But thank you so much, guys, and I guess from everyone at Millennial CEO, have a good night.
Bye. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Have a great night, guys.